Right, so nice to be here, and I think it's a good place to spend the afternoon. So Chqbook is actually about bringing a marketplace for financial services to the customer. So over the last many years, there have been a few other marketplaces as well in this space. I think what we're doing differently is we're using uh, much lesser calling of customers, telecalling customers and so on and so forth, between the traditional way of communicating with customers. Rather than that, we are actually using a lot of analytics and and AI, along with a lot of information from credit bureaus and so on, which give us a lot more information about the customer and be able to give him much more granular offers, granular pre-approved offers and so on and so forth. So that when you're conversing with the customer, you are giving him options which he would like. So we try to gauge propensity. We will try to understand what kind of a pre-approval would work for the customer and so on and so forth. So that obviously involves a lot of stuff on the back end. But on the front end, it looks much more seamless than it does for us. So I think online lending is not just about approvals or eligibility. It's also about a combination of what are the products the customer has already got, which product would appeal to a customer. So take a case of credit cards. If you already have, let's say, an ICICI Bank credit card, and I come to you and call you or reach out to you an email and push you the same credit card, you're probably not going to take it because you already have one, right? But if I understand that you might want to, instead of an ICICI Bank, which may be a shopping cart, but I have information about that you've been traveling recently, I might try to offer you an American Express, let's say, for example, an Amex travel card. You might actually look at that with much better, from a much better viewpoint, and you might want to actually take it. So the goal really of big data and analytics is to be able to understand what a customer might want to take or might want to purchase, rather than just blindly going and saying, hey, I have this laundry list of products and take whichever one you choose. I think that approach fails because today there's so much information that gets getting bombarded on the phone. You have maybe 10 seconds to impress a customer when you're reaching out to them. So you've got to make sure that you've done your homework, and I think that homework gets done when you use a lot of these technologies. So I think there is still a long way to go. I think alternate lending is still in its infancy, mainly because there's a lot of regulation which is still open around P2P, around using alternative data, and how comfortable banks and institutions are to profile customers against alternate data and be in a position to take a credit decision on customers. So I think there's a long way to go for that. P2P is still in its infancy. There are early adopters who have liked it, who've liked returns on it, but making it mass market has its own challenge. Consumers and investors will want to understand how well is their money protected, who are they actually lending to, how good is the system that the P2P lender is using to identify their customer, because fraud and security concerns are real and they are true. I think there's a technology is an enabler in the entire loan process. Today the loan process is very manual. So when we talk to banks and financial institutions, everybody likes to say that they would want to have a paperless process, but between RBI and between the bank's own policy teams, there is much lesser faith in saying that, hey, I haven't met the customer or I haven't looked at physical documents, and still, I'm not comfortable lending to that customer. And that's prevalent in the Indian banking industry and to a large extent globally as well. But I think what technology can bridge the gap is bringing, documents, verification which is standardized, which comes from either government sources directly to the banks, with us facilitating an entire process, helping customers do discovery and eligibility and so on and so forth. And I think that process needs a little more time. So there's an open API project which is starting, which there's some action around it. But I think it takes some time before government institutions, regulators, and banks, and us in the middle who are engaging with all of them can really be in a position where we're saying, okay, this is data which cannot be, which is not fraudulent, which is secure, and that's where technology comes in, plays a huge role. I think blockchain is a process where you can essentially allow individuals visibility about the previous transactions that have happened. So I think it's definitely something that's a game changer. But the biggest challenge is going to be one, convincing RBI, government regulators again that blockchain is safe, and allowing those regulators to sort of cede control over what they consider their domain and say that, okay, there's a technology which is going to start verifying transactions, which is a big step for regulators and banks together, because today they are the ones who verify the transactions. So it's a big control game as well, which needs to be fought. And the third thing is that blockchain, 99% of the people won't understand what blockchain is. So if you want to, for example, do P2P lending, and you want a rich businessman who's got an office that's in Karol Bagh, who wants to invest in higher priced, higher return investments through P2P lending, he needs to be made to understand what blockchain is all about. And that's a challenge it's a marketing challenge, it's a communication challenge bigger than anything else. So I think the technology is great, but I think getting all parties together is going to be a process which will take a couple of years. Yeah, so like I said, I think I kind of answered the question in my previous answer. But yeah, essentially it should, it can. I think P2P lending is a great way of disintermediating, the banks out of the entire process, the banking system out of the entire process. You're basically transferring money from, people who want credit to people who want to give credit and earn higher returns. So it's a great way of doing it. But again, the challenge is really the people who want to give credit or lend, right? Being able to convince those individuals. Today, institutions themselves are not able to understand and appreciate blockchain. So convincing a guy, in Chennai, in Paris, that this is safe is I think the biggest challenge.